Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go Quick Look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and this episode we are checking out a real workhorse of a knife. This is the Kohetsu Yo or Western handled blue number 2 Gyuto 270 millimeters. So the steel is, as mentioned, Aogami or blue paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel from Hitachi, and the heat treat's about 62 Rockwell on that. The construction is a 3-layer sandwich with softer stainless cladding on the outside of each side of that core steel. And it's pretty easy to see the core steel showing up here. I've been using this knife and you can see the patina showing. The weight on this has got some heft to it. It's 9.7 ounces, 274 grams. Although balance point given the handle is like right just on my pinch grip, maybe slightly behind it, so very nimble feel. This does, when you're using this knife, it really doesn't feel that heavy, but it does have some muscle to the blade to help you with cutting as well. It's kind of cool. The edge length is 268, about 10.5 inches, and the overall length about 15.8 inches, 400 millimeter-ish. The spine thickness is about 2.9 coming out of the handle, and then it holds to something and then shrinks down just a little bit with some taper towards the last third or quarter of the blade. And the tip is not super skinny, but it does go through things reasonably well. The blade height is 54 millimeter size, so this is a pretty big blade. It is pretty stiff and stout, and just as I've mentioned with the other ones in this line, this baby just screams, take me to a pro kitchen. It's not super skinny at the edge, but enough to have good performance, and it's just a cool, real workhorse knife. You can kind of see that. Let me focus in here. You can kind of see the cladding does tend to take on some staining, so I would kind of categorize the cladding as maybe semi-stainless because it does tend to take on a little bit of patina, and it also is pretty soft, so it'll tend to scratch a little bit easier. So it's a tool. Don't worry about it too much, but it will show some wear and tear and show that you're getting some work done. Got some screened on kanji, tells you the type of steel that you have there. And then I need to clean this off a little better. Did some butternut squash, and man, that stuff's like glue sticking to things. So here's the core steel showing at the edge, real easy to see. And the handle's just a good basic black packerwood handle. It's got some nice girth to it, and it's got some length to it, so it's just a good solid handle. I think it fits the size of this blade really well. If you have super tiny hands, you may not like it. My hands are medium, not real long fingers, and it works pretty good for me. So this should take larger hands really well. Additionally, the handle's got kind of some squared off edges versus super rounded off edges, but it's really not too bad in practice. It's fairly comfortable. Got a little bit of a bevel angle here on the front of it to make a sort of a bolster, if you will, and so it's pretty comfortable on a pinch grip, which is the way I've been using it mostly. The fit and finish is quite good. It's got some rounded spine on it and rounded choil, so it's ready to go right out of the box. It is sharp out of the box. I'll give it a good solid 6 out of 10, and it'll take a really nice screaming edge if you want to put your own edge on it or touch it up. And I will say, from using this knife, the back part of this, the back half of this blade is just stellar. It's outstanding. It really goes through stuff well. It powers through ingredients. Put a little push on your cut, and man, this thing just blows through stuff. It's not a laser, and it's not super skinny at the edge, but it's thin enough. And like I said, the back part of this blade is just outstanding. It was a pleasure to use this. It's a great slicer. You'll be surprised how nice the back half of this blade works. The front half is not going to be a super skinny mini laser, and it'll take a little more effort to get through product, but this baby just really wants to be worked hard. It's just the way the blade seems to be used, which to me says, hey, pro kitchen, pro kitchen. So this thing will get some serious prep done. Here's the profile, which I found just really nice. And it's got a little bit of belly towards the tip, so I can rock it pretty high. And then it flows into a pretty nice flat spot. It's got a good solid flat spot, like the last 40% of the blade maybe. maybe even half the blade. So plenty of flat spot if you want to use that, but flows real nice into that. So this should accommodate a real wide variety of techniques. The blade is stiff and stout, and this just has a monster prep feel to it. So it's an economical knife, lots of performance, and you won't be afraid to put the pedal to the metal a little bit. I mean, it's still a Japanese knife, and you've got to not use it outside the intended scope of use, but this thing will get some work done. So there you have the Kohetsu Yo or Western Blue No. 2 Gyuto 270mm knife.